Hi you guys, it's your girl Gabby G in NYC and I'm back and so excited to get these videos going. So please, if you haven't already, subscribe, like, well, when it's over, because I guess you would have to see if you even like this video, right? Anyway, let's start that over again. I've gathered myself. So let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about a little something called an appraisal gap. Okay, and now this has been occurring all around the nation because we are in a super seller's market. There's low inventory, which means that everybody's paying premium for everything. And people have been paying way over ask for homes. I mean, it's starting to slow down a little bit, but there's still lots of offers on the table per home, and you want yours to stand out a bit. So, you go above ask. But what does it mean when you do that? You can't just offer whatever and think that you won't have to pay an appraisal gap. So let's talk about what exactly that is. So let's start by defining what is an appraisal. So Investopedia's definition is an unbiased, professional opinion of a home's value. Okay? An unbiased, professional opinion of a home's value. And it's done by an appraiser, right? An appraiser is a professional who determines the market value of an asset. Now, it can be anything from jewelry, gems, family heirlooms, all types of stuff can be appraised. But in this instance, we're talking about real estate. So we're talking about a real estate appraisal, a value on a home. Appraisals are done if you are financing a home. If you're asking a bank to give you a loan, a huge loan, to purchase a home, then you're going to need to think about the appraisal, because at the end of the day, the bank doesn't listen to me as a real estate agent. He doesn't listen to you as the buyer. It doesn't listen to the seller either, because let's be honest, sellers think that their homes are the Taj Mahal, okay? And buyers are trying to get a deal. So if you were to ask a buyer, oh, how much is the value of this house? They're going to be like, I only want to pay $100,000. But if you're gonna ask a seller, how much is the value of your own home? They're gonna be like, millions and millions. This house is amazing. It's the best house in the world. Of course. So we kind of gotta go with somebody who doesn't have any any skin in the game and can just give you an unbiased opinion. So that's why banks listen to the third party, the appraiser. So an appraisal gap occurs when a home's value determined by an appraiser comes in lower than your offer price. Okay, so as an example, let's just say a home is $700,000. Let's talk about that number because we're in New York over here and our prices for homes are not in the twos, okay? All right, but so a home is $700,000 and the comps show that that's pretty much the price of the area. Now, if you want to offer $720,000, there is a chance that an appraisal can come in low. So if an appraiser comes in and says, yes, the market value of this home is $700,000, now you have a $20,000 gap. So you have to be aware that in this market, you may have to cover that entire gap or put a certain amount towards that gap and renegotiate the remainder. So when an appraisal comes in low, there are multiple things that can be done, right? One, you could walk away and be like, oh, I'm not paying $20,000 over ask. No way, no how. I'm out. You can also renegotiate with the seller. I mean, that's something that your agent would do on your behalf with the listing agent, right? That's something you gotta talk about. Like, come on, okay? Can we meet in the middle here? Your agent can also request a review of that appraisal report because I did my homework and I know that there are comps that support a $720,000 offer because I saw that this home just sold for $730,000 in the area and it's very similar. Okay, so I'm I'm gonna bring you my comps, Mr. Appraiser Man. All right? That's another option. Or when you were putting in your offer, if you already thought of the appraisal gap, which you should if you're gonna go over ask on any property, if you thought of it, you could have put that in with your offer, that you're going to not pay the entire difference, but you'll put a certain number towards it. So let's just say $700,000 asking listing price, and you offer $720,000, that's a $20,000 gap. But with your offer, you could say, my buyer, or your real estate agent could say, my buyer is willing to put $10,000 towards an appraisal gap. So that's saying that the home needs to at least appraise for $710,000, and you would be willing to cover that extra $10,000 to get to the $720,000 that the offer price is, right? So that is an option. And that makes sellers in this market feel more comfortable because they don't want to get into it with a buyer who's going to run away as soon as there's an appraisal gap. It's something that you should consider in a market like this one, in a market like ours, that there are going to be appraisal gaps, and some appraisals may come in low. So it's an additional expense for you as a buyer that you have to keep in mind, because let's review the things you'll be paying. I know I have a video on it, which I will share above, of the expenses that home buyers are going to be taking on. But let's just think about this one because it's an additional expense if need be, if you're going over ask, if you decide to put some money towards an appraisal gap. So first you're paying for your down payment, then you're paying your closing costs. You're also paying for your inspection and your appraisal itself, because that does come out of your pocket. But then you have this additional, let's say, whatever the number is, but $10K for the example that I just gave, that is also going to be coming out. It's not coming out of your down payment. It's not coming out of your closing costs. It's additional. So keep that in mind. You may not have to use it at all. There is a chance that by the time you close on this loan, or by the time the appraiser comes out to review your loan, there was a house that sold in the area for $730,000, and now you have a comp that supports your offer. Big chance that that happens. It has happened, right? And so then appraisal comes in and they're like, yeah, it's $720,000 on the money. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. And just like that, you don't need your additional $10,000, right? So it's something that you should consider as a buyer, and it's something that sellers are hoping that you would consider and present in your offer, just in case you're going over ask. Okay, so I hope that this video made it a little bit clearer as to what an appraisal is, what an appraiser does, and what comps are, and just what an appraisal gap is and why you should consider it. So if you have any questions, comments, leave them below. Did you have to pay an appraisal gap? Have you bought a home in this market? What was your experience like with this appraisal gap? Were you warned about it and then you didn't have to pay and you were like, such relief, right? Or not? Let me know below and we will talk. If you haven't already, subscribe, share, like, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Mwah!